What's up everybody, John from Old Running Farm here. Thanks for joining us. In today's video, we are actually doing our very first chainsaw carving demo, as you can see over there. So we are in Hebron, Connecticut. We had to talk to somebody from here to learn how to actually say it properly, which is kind of crazy, Hebron. But anyway, so we're here. We got our booth set up and we're doing our first ever carving demo. So let me show you our booth and then we'll get to work. This is a pretty cool place. They got some, like it goes down the whole main street, as you can see down this way. And then I guess they have it on both sides. And you can see it goes around. This is our booth. They moved us around a whole bunch. So if anybody out there does craft shows, you know that oftentimes you get the where you're supposed to be ahead of time. But I guess they had to move us for one reason or the other. I guess we were going to be in a parking lot originally, but the person who owned the parking lot, I guess, got cold feet at the last minute. So this is where we're at. And we got my carving station over here. So I bought a bunch of little bear blanks and a couple of bigger bear blanks. And you can see I got this deer netting in here to just hopefully keep any shrapnel from flying into people's faces. And a tarp to clean myself up. Got all my saws here. And yeah, I think we are about ready to go. So I think I'm gonna start with one of these bigger chunks over here. And then we'll give people a break for lunchtime probably. So I did bring my battery saw, and our plan was originally that we would have electricity where we're at and we could, you know, charge the battery while it was going, but then where we ended up, we don't have electricity, so it's gonna be mostly gas saws. But I did bring my electric saw so I can try to give people a break whenever I can. Anyway, so we'll update you guys throughout the day and wish us luck. All right, so I neglected to do a whole lot of talking yesterday. So here we are, day 2 of the Hebron Maple Festival, which from what I heard from almost everybody, getting a good maple harvest was tough this year because there was so little like flow. It's been so, because when you harvest maple syrup, which I found out, maple sap, so you need to have freezing temperatures at night and then above freezing temperatures during the day. And in general, the warmer during the day, the better. So anyway, yesterday went super duper well, and we'll sort of show some footage of me carving yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I've never carved in front of people before, and also like Catherine has barely seen me carve. There was like one time where I showed her how to carve a mushroom, and I think that's really about it. So it's kind of cool to show people sort of what I'm doing, and it makes me feel like a professional. I mean, like with having like this little setup here, and there were times where there was tons of people out there. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, it makes me feel like an actual professional, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we had a great day selling wise. Today the temperature is much higher than yesterday, but it's, I mean, man, the sun is not out. But this little place is cool. You know, we like doing shows like this, just because you never know what's gonna happen. And so for this show, because we are carving here, they basically comped us the show cost. So for those of you who don't know, when crafters do shows like this, like little craft shows, it costs money. You have to spend money to basically not rent, but sort of rent a booth for that weekend. And so for this show, they comped the booth and they also paid for our insurance that we took out in order to be here. Just because, you know, flinging chips and like little scraps and stuff like that, you don't want it to hit anybody. And obviously I have the deer netting all around the booth, but just in case. But so yeah, it's been really good. It's been really fun. And organizers of the event were super happy with us being here. So that's always a plus. Catherine made me some delicious sandwiches for lunch, which is always nice. And it was also very nice to actually be able to spend the day together with my wife because we so rarely get to do that, just because we're so busy running around and doing all kinds of things. But anyway, so maybe we'll check in when we're on the way home or when we're breaking down or something like that. But anyway, yesterday went really well, and fingers crossed for today going well too. Alright, so this weekend was a tremendous success. It was the first carving demo that I've ever done. I've wanted to do one for a really long time. Like, I always thought that that would be something fun to do, and people are usually pretty interested in what's going on. I found that the part that seemed to fascinate the most people were some of the details on the bears, and even like the couple of gnomes that I did. It was really like doing the furring and showing how I did the fur, as well as like the nose on the bears, because a lot of people tend to think that when I get down to those sort of granular levels that I'm using different tools. And nothing against anybody who does. Usually a lot of people who use like those different types of tools end up making, carvings that look way better than mine. But I sort of pride myself in doing as much as I possibly can with the saw. And that's why, like, really the only tool I use is a die grinder, and I grind in the eyes. And that's also why, we like, or I think we like telling people that our carvings are also hand painted. Catherine paints every single one of our carvings with a brush and, paint. And Joanne also helps sometimes too. Thanks, Joanne. We're not using spray paint or anything like that. Every single one is hand painted, handmade, really. So that's always kind of cool. And so it's cool to show people that process. And I think, a lot of people don't understand how it happens. And, when I first started carving, I had no idea what I was doing. And you watch YouTube videos and blah, blah, blah. So it's cool to kind of see the process. The only thing was our space was, looking back on it, I think if our space were a little bit bigger, we could get people around more sides. I think that would be a bonus. I also think having access to electricity would be good. Although I think I used my electric saw more than I ever had. Pepper. Knock it off. Whose dogs are these? Anyway, it was a tremendous success. Hebron is a great place. It was, it's so cool to see in Connecticut, because a lot of people think of Connecticut as just like, here's what's in between New York and Massachusetts, but there really is a lot more going on. There was a tractor parade where there were a couple hundred tractors, so that was cool to see. And you would never think that some town in Connecticut would be like an actual farming town with, people who have cows and hay and all kinds of stuff. Just the same way that people wouldn't know that there was an alpaca farm right back here. But anyway, this weekend was a tremendous success. I want to thank everybody, the organizers who made it really easy for us. And, even though there was like a little, not a scheduling mishap, but like a layout mishap, and they had to move us around, they were super nice about it. And I really hope we can do this again in the future. Oh, also, the people of Hebron, thank you for being so generous with your hard-earned dollars. I've said this a million times, and I'll continue to say it. It's always nice when people admire our stuff and come over and say, wow, this is just beautiful. This is great. You guys do such great work. That is tremendous. When you say that and you also pay us your hard-earned dollars to take one of those things home, that is the best compliment that we can ever receive.
And I know anybody who ever makes anything and sells it, that's the best thing. You know, supporting small businesses, supporting small farms, you know, it's the best that you can do to support them is to actually buy their stuff. And it also, you know, it makes us feel good too. But anyway, so Hebron was very generous. Love you guys. And hopefully we'll do more of these soon. It's going to be tough to do them in the fall because Catherine and I do shows, you know, sort of back to back on weekends. But maybe we can fit another one in the summer or something like that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. See you next time.